All right, Boruto 187 dropped. And let me just tell you, I watched this shit twice. I had to run it back because the first time, I did my little thing. I had to go over to TikTok. Then I, kind of forgot some shit. Came back and actually appreciated the second time around, right? Because I kind of glanced over. Like, my second time around, I ended up giving Kashin Koji a whole ass page just based off the combat, bro. But let's get into it. You already know how I give it up. It's a list. Today's like 1 through 10. We're going to give it 10. And this is just a list of thoughts that popped into my head as the episode rolled out. I am a manga reader. I ain't gonna come out here and front on you niggas like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Because a lot of these niggas are starting to switch up and do that dumb shit. I ain't taking no shots. I just, I don't really fuck with that, right? But on to my first point. Now, I don't know if this is the same, animator as what we got during the owl combat. Because, once again, I'm noticing Boruto looks a bit older. Like, he had this little angle. His chin was a little bit more chiseled and shit. And I know at this point, at least in the manga, I know he's 13 now, right? He's no longer 12. I want to say, because it's a year that had went by since the whole exams and shit. So yeah, he has to be 13 at this point. So I don't know if it's like, just because this animator is different than what we usually get. But I fuck with the way Boruto is looking. He looks a little bit older. And there was just one scene where Kashin Koji looked kind of boof, but that was about it. And then there was a second, like this is like a secondary point. It's actually a quote from Katasuke where he says, the future looks bright. And I think this is a thing where it's kind of like, it's crazy because, look, we just got a victory from Al, right? We just came off a crazy-ass battle. We won that shit. And Katasuke's like, yeah, man, these are some honorable motherfucking shinobi. The young niggas is coming up. This is like some Genin type shit, bruh. We should be proud. The future is looking bright for us. And moments after that, they just get challenged by another motherfucker who's stronger than the guy that they just fought. So it's kind of like crazy thing after crazy thing after crazy thing for these people. Because one, you're looking at new technology. Like the mission begins, like bruh, if you go to the beginning of this mission, it's Katasuke showing Boruto their new technology. Hey, look what we're working on. This is going to be the future, guys. Look, we're so far ahead. Look at this crazy technology. It's going to help us out in the future. Immediately goes on this, finishing the mission. What the fuck? Who the fuck made this shit? This better than my shit. The blimp is fucking going crazy. He's in the blimp having an orgasm and shit. And then we get crazy ass battles and shit. Crazy motherfuckers just throwing hands, being Al. Puppets whooping that ass for the most part until Katasuke kind of saves the day. And then now we get Kashin Koji coming out the fucking cut, throwing them hands. Let me just, let me switch up this song right quick, bruh. Let me pause, actually. I forgot I could do that. All right, but moving on towards... this is where Kashin Koji actually demolishes Al, right? It got a little, like, I always get a bit shocked, and I know we've seen blood in this series before, but I always get kind of thrown off whenever I see it in Boruto, just because it's more of a, like, I don't want to say kid show, it's more of a, it's for a broader audience. They ain't out here cussing, they ain't out here throwing fucking hands crazy. Like, ain't no one's heads getting chopped off and shit. But this motherfucker coughed up blood, and you could hear it. Like, if you, like, listen closely, you could hear him, like, gargling this shit. Like, he's choking on his own blood at this point, which is a little nice touch and shit. But this also, like, they immediately went to the next scene where Naruto's like, yo, what the fuck? He saved me. And then you could just see the animosity, the hate that is building up within Naruto. And it's not necessarily like a Sasuke, like, boiling, blooding type of hate. It's more so of a passion that's starting to brew within him, because he's really starting to develop a hate towards this Kara organization and all the shit that's been popping off lately. Because immediately when Konohamaru was like, yo, this guy must be from a Kara member. He must be a Kara member. And then Boruto's already throwing a fucking bitch fit and shit. He's like, fucking Kara, fuck you bitches. And no homo, right? Oh, my bad. No homo. This is my fourth point, bro. Because at this point, Kashin Koji has trapped the whole fucking Team 7 and shit, and like someone's chest gets exposed, right? And all I see is the fucking like ceiling jutsu on the chest. And I kind of forgot that this happened in the manga. I'm like, god damn, Kashin Koji? Because I'm thinking it's Kashin Koji. I'm like, yo, these Kara niggas, I don't know what the fuck P90X they be on, but that was that nigga Konohamaru. And then it's kind of like, bro, you just buff for no fucking reason. I know it's a running joke that Konohamaru is trash. And but the nigga got abs though, I ain't gonna front. But then we get into like a battle mode, and this is where I kind of glanced over this shit, because usually, sometimes when I do these videos, like I get so hyped, I turn the fucking camera on immediately because I want to capture that energy, right? But I actually watched this a second time, and I actually have a whole ass, like, basically combat notes on Kashin Koji, because it went over my head, really. Like, within that first interaction, Kashin Koji's only using one arm, one hand, combos fucking Konohamaru. And I get it, Konohamaru's coming off like a fucking ass whooping and shit. He's just been throwing 100 fucking jutsus and shit. And like, would it really make a difference though? Like, I don't think so. Maybe Kashin Koji would have to use two hands, but his combos, like, to be honest, I feel like Kashin Koji has probably shown us the best versatility out of all the fights we've seen so far, and this is including the manga. Like, this nigga knows how to put together a fucking combo. I will say he's probably a little bit slower than what we've seen from Al, just based off his motions and shit. But this motherfucker goes one hand. Let me get to the actual fucking combat list, bro, because I don't want to fuck this shit up. This motherfucker goes from fighting Konohamaru with one hand, uses a substitution jutsu, and then a heavy ass kick, right? And then from the heavy ass kick, Rasengan, because he's in the air at this point, uses a Rasengan to counteract Konohamaru's Rasengan. Everyone's thrown the fuck off, like, oh shit, Rasengan. And then uses a flaming toad on the bitch. After the Rasengan, his hood comes off, and you could pretty much, like, I don't want to spoil this shit, but like, I'm interested in just seeing what anime only viewers think at this point, where the hood comes off and they see the Rasengan and frogs and shit. I really want to know what they're getting at with that. And after like all this shit is going down, I fucking damn near forgot, like, this title was called Karma. The episode title was Karma, and I forgot everything about like Boruto's Karma Seal awakening in this episode, or reactivating in this episode, because of all the fucking action we was getting previously, right? But just to get back on Kashin Koji, one thing that I do like the anime is doing is they make him a bit more power. I don't know if it's the voice, but it seems like he has a lot more, like, there's a different type of presence to him. He's more powerful. He still has that mystery about him, because in the anime, I mean in the manga, it was more so like a mystery and, yo, what the fuck, how do you know this type of shit? Whereas in the anime, it's like he has obvious power. And let me just look for it one more time. I'm sorry, y'all. But it's like an obvious power and intimidation. There's an intimidation factor. And he's still like that smooth ass nigga. Like, I'm not here to answer your fucking questions, bro. Like, so far, he's like, personally, he's my favorite Kara. He's my favorite Kara member. I know Code getting that hype right now. Code got the drip. I ain't gonna front. Code got drip. But out of all of them, it's fucking Kashin Koji for me. Jigen, I fuck with Jigen too. I fuck with Jigen. And then the final thing that I really like, where they tied well with the manga, is Delta snooping around in that little office, and then we could kind of see why certain events happen in the manga, whereas before it's kind of just like it seemed like a contest of, hey, pick me, Jigen let me do this, Jigen let me do that. But in the next couple of episodes,